Chapter 1, Laying Plans. Sun Tzu, the wise strategist of old, knew that the art of war isn't just a pastime, it's a matter of life and death, a delicate dance that can lead to safety or plunge a state into chaos. Because of this, he believed it requires serious study and thoughtful consideration, much like preparing for a big exam or planning a surprise party. Now, when it comes to winning a battle, Sun Tzu highlighted 5 key factors that every general needs to keep an eye on. 1. The moral law. Think of this as the bond between a ruler and their people. When the people rally behind their leader with heart and soul, they charge into battle with the courage of lions. 2. Heaven. This isn't about celestial beings, but rather the natural elements, day and night, weather patterns, and the changing seasons. Just like planning a picnic, you want to know if it's going to rain or shine. 3. Earth. This deals with everything from the lay of the land to safety and distance. Knowing whether the ground is rocky, flat, or hilly can make or break a strategy. 4. The commander. A general's character traits, wisdom, honesty, bravery, and discipline, are crucial. A good general is like a lighthouse in a storm, guiding their troops safely through perilous waters. 5. Method and discipline. This covers how well organized the army is, the ranks of the officers, and how effectively supplies are managed. Imagine running a tight ship. The smoother the operation, the better the chances of success. Every savvy general must grasp these 5 elements. Master them, and you're on the road to victory. Ignore them, and failure is knocking at your door. To gauge your odds of winning, ponder these 7 important questions. 1. Which ruler embodies the moral law? 2. Who's the sharper general? 3. Who has the strategic edge when it comes to heaven and earth? 4. Where is discipline holding the line? 5. Which army packs more punch? 6. Where are the soldiers better trained? 7. Which army has a clear system of rewards and punishments? By reflecting on these questions, you can get a glimpse of potential victory or imminent defeat. A general who takes this advice to heart should stay in command. Those who disregard it might find themselves replaced faster than you can say game over. And let's not forget the art of deception. This is the secret sauce of warfare. If you're strong, act weak. If you're bustling with energy, play it cool. When you're close, make your enemy think you're far away. It's all about playing the cards right. Lure your opponent in with a tempting bait. Pretend you're disorganized, then unleash a mighty strike when they least expect it. If your enemy is a bit of a hothead, poke them a little. If they're too relaxed, give them a nudge. If their forces are coming together, throw in some confusion to scatter them. Strike where they're least prepared. Think of it like sneaking up on a friend during a game of hide and seek. These strategies for triumph should remain under wraps, like a magician's best tricks. A successful general is like a chess player, calculating every move before stepping onto the battlefield. In contrast, a general who fails to plan is like a ship sailing without a compass. Good planning leads to victory, while a lack of it guarantees a bumpy ride. After all, as they say, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. This is how I know who will rise to glory and who will fall to defeat. Chapter 2, Waging War. Sun Tzu had some wise words. Running a big army is like trying to keep a huge beast fed. You need plenty of resources and a healthy purse. If a campaign drags on longer than a rainy day, weapons lose their edge, morale can plummet faster than a lead balloon, and the coffers run dry. And believe me, when that happens, other rulers start eyeing your vulnerability like hawks circling a wounded rabbit. No sage advice can fix that mess. We've all heard the saying, haste makes waste, and it couldn't be truer in war. A smart strategist knows that dragging things out benefits no one. After all, nobody wants to be stuck in an endless brawl. A true soldier doesn't need a constant flow of fresh troops, and his supply wagons should be as light as a feather. Bring your weapons and gear from home, but don't hesitate to grab some grub from the enemy's pantry. It's a win-win. Your army stays well fed without putting a strain on your own people. If the state's treasury is feeling a bit light, you end up sourcing supplies from far away, which can leave your people pretty poor. And if your army is camped nearby? Prices skyrocket, draining the pockets of hardworking citizens. That's why a clever general knows that raiding the enemy's stores is the way to go. Just think, one cartload of their supplies can be worth 20 of ours. Talk about a steal. To rally our troops and light a fire in their hearts, they need a little push and some rewards for their bravery. In the heat of chariot battles, the first soldier to snag a chariot should earn a shiny prize. And don't forget, mixing captured chariots with our own can give our forces a morale boost. Treat those captured soldiers well. Here's a little secret: using the talents of the vanquished can make your own army stronger. In the end, the goal of war is clear: it's all about snatching victory, not dragging things out. The general holds the destiny of the people in his hands, and whether the nation enjoys peace or faces peril rests squarely on his shoulders. Remember, in the game of war, it's not the longest player who wins, but the smartest one. Chapter 3: The Art of Sneaky Strategy. Sun Tzu, the ancient master of strategy, teaches us a golden nugget of wisdom: in the grand game of war, the real victory lies in capturing your opponent's heart and state, not just demolishing it. Think about it: winning every single skirmish might sound impressive, but the true art is bending your enemy's will without ever raising a sword. The wisest generals are like chess masters: they anticipate their enemies' moves, thwart their plans, and only engage in battle when the odds tilt heavily in their favor. Take besieging a fortified city, for instance. It's like trying to crack a nut with a sledgehammer. It can drag on for ages, costing lives and resources. When a cunning leader can swoop in, win the day without a single siege, and topple kingdoms in the blink of an eye. Timing is everything when it comes to unleashing your forces. Imagine this: if you've got 10 times the troops your opponent has, it's time to encircle them like a hawk swooping down on its prey. A small, stubborn band of fighters can only hold out for so long against overwhelming numbers. Now, here's the kicker: the strength of the state lies heavily on the shoulders of its general. A robust leader translates to a robust army. But beware. A ruler can sabotage their own forces in 3 disastrous ways: by issuing impossible commands, managing the army like a fiefdom, or appointing officers who are as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Such blunders breed mistrust and invite rivals to take a swing at your kingdom. To emerge victorious, one must master the art of when to engage, how to manage their troops, unite the forces under a common banner, stay prepared, and have a general who knows the ropes. Always keep this in mind: knowing both yourself and your enemy is the golden key to triumph. If you know yourself but not your foe, you're playing a risky game. If you're clueless about both, you might as well hand them the victory on a silver platter. Remember, in war as in life, a little wisdom goes a long way. Chapter 4: Tactical Dispositions. Sun Tzu reveals a timeless secret: the best fighters don't just charge into battle, they first become untouchable, biding their time until their foes show a crack in their armor. Think of it like a cat waiting patiently to pounce on an unsuspecting mouse. The real power lies in knowing when to leap. Your shield against defeat is firmly in your own grasp, while the opportunity to triumph hinges on your opponent's blunders. Now, let's be real: a deft warrior can dodge danger, but they can't always ensure a win. Ever hear the saying, "You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink"? Well, that fits here perfectly. Defense is your go-to when you're feeling a little shaky, but when you're on solid ground, it's time to unleash a bold offensive. A wise general knows how to remain hidden, quietly maneuvering in the shadows, while a fierce attacker strikes with the speed and force of a thunderbolt. Safety and victory? They're just 2 sides of the same coin. True greatness isn't about celebrating the easy wins, it's about securing victories while flying under the radar. The shrewd fighter knows how to win without making a fuss, ensuring they outsmart foes who are already on the ropes. Picture this: the skilled strategist sets the stage where defeat is simply not an option and waits for the perfect moment to unleash their attack. Clever leaders only step onto the battlefield when they can smell victory in the air, while those destined for failure charge in first and scramble for a win later. A great leader maintains a moral compass and instills discipline, creating a solid foundation for success. The journey of war unfolds like this. 1. Measurement: gather data from the terrain. 2. Estimation of quantity: calculate based on that data. 3. calculation, analyze the estimated numbers. 4. Balancing chances, weighing risks and opportunities. 5. Victory, the sweet fruit of careful planning. Imagine an army poised for victory like an enormous weight tipping the scale against a mere grain of sand. A conquering force is akin to a powerful flood surging into a deep chasm, unstoppable and overwhelming. So, remember, victory isn't just about the battle, it's about the strategy that leads you there. Chapter 5, Energy. Sun Tzu, that wise strategist from ancient times, tells us something powerful: managing a big army isn't all that different from wrangling a small crew. It's all about organization, like piecing together a jigsaw puzzle and breaking everything down into bite-sized chunks. When it comes to battle, whether you're commanding 1,000 or just a handful, the game plan remains the same. You need to be a maestro, using signals and signs to orchestrate your troops. Now, if you want your soldiers to hold steady against an enemy attack, think of it as using both a straightforward approach and a sneaky one. Why? Because the impact of your army can be explosive, like a grindstone smashing an egg, if you know how to play your cards right by understanding your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. In the heat of combat, direct tactics will face the enemy head-on, while indirect methods are your secret weapons that can lead you to victory without them even realizing it. Just picture this: there are only 5 musical notes in the world, yet they create an ocean of melodies. The same goes for colors and tastes. Mix and match just a few basic ingredients, and you can whip up an endless feast for the senses. When troops charge forward, they can be like a roaring river carrying stones, unstoppable and powerful. And making a smart decision? That's akin to a falcon swooping down with laser-like precision. A skilled warrior knows when to attack fiercely and when to think quickly on their feet. Energy in battle is much like drawing back on a crossbow, and the moment you decide to let it fly, that's the moment victory is unleashed. Amidst the chaos of war, it may look like everything is in disarray, but here's the kicker: true disorder is just a myth. You can create an illusion of chaos while keeping everything tightly knit and disciplined. The best generals are like clever illusionists, keeping their enemies guessing and off balance, luring them into traps they never saw coming. Instead of focusing on individual stars, a wise leader brings together their army, making them work harmoniously, like logs rolling downhill or stones tumbling together. When united, they can pack a punch that's as powerful as a freight train barreling down the tracks. That's the heart and soul of energy in battle: unity, strategy, and the ability to harness the collective strength of your forces. Chapter 6, Weak Points and Strong. In the thrilling world of strategy, Sun Tzu teaches us a vital lesson: the early bird might just win the battle. The first fighter to hit the battlefield is fresh and ready to rumble, while the second one drags in, exhausted and at a disadvantage. A clever warrior doesn't wait for the enemy to set the stage, instead, they take charge, crafting the narrative. It's like fishing: sometimes, you have to use bait to draw the fish in, or other times, you might just scare them off to keep them at a distance. Imagine this: if the enemy is lounging around, basking in comfort, a skillful strategist stirs the pot, throwing them off their game. If they're well fed, they might find themselves suddenly starving. If they're all cozy in their positions, a clever commander will nudge them out of their comfort zone, making them dance to a different tune. Timing is everything. Arriving at the right spot before the enemy is crucial, especially in areas where they least expect it. An army can glide through the battlefield like a breeze through an open window if it skips past enemy lines. Strike where the enemy is least prepared and hunker down in places that are tough to crack. A crafty attacker keeps the enemy guessing: what should they defend? Meanwhile, a savvy defender keeps them on their toes, unsure of where the next blow might land. This art of subtlety is all about being like a whisper in the wind, unseen and unheard, yet powerful enough to steer the enemy's fate. You can launch a powerful advance by targeting their weak spots or make a swift retreat if you can outpace them. If you want to stir the pot and engage, you can force the enemy into action, even if they're hiding behind strong defenses. On the flip side, if you prefer to avoid the fray, unexpected moves can send them scrambling. By unraveling the enemy's plans while remaining cloaked in mystery, you can keep your troops united while they're busy squabbling among themselves. The battlefield should be your secret garden, compelling the enemy to stretch their forces thin. Strengthening one area? That's like leaving the back door wide open. When you have to defend against multiple threats, you're at a numerical disadvantage. But here's the kicker: strength comes from making the enemy sweat, preparing for your next move. Knowing when and where to strike allows you to focus your forces like a laser beam. Victory is achievable, even against a larger foe, if you can pinpoint their strengths and weaknesses. The creme de la creme of tactical prowess is to keep your plans under wraps. While your opponents might catch a glimpse of your surface tactics, the true strategy, the secret sauce that leads to victory, remains hidden like a pearl in an oyster. Don't just repeat what worked before, adapt, evolve, and roll with the punches of the battlefield. Military tactics should flow like water, effortlessly shifting to navigate around obstacles and strike at vulnerabilities. Just as water shapes itself to the landscape, a brilliant leader must reshape their strategies based on the enemy at hand. That's what separates the greats from the rest. Chapter 7: Maneuvering. Sun Tzu, the brilliant strategist, reminds us that in the chaotic dance of war, a good general must first take orders from the king and ensure his army is in harmony before setting out. Think of it like a conductor leading an orchestra. If everyone's not on the same page, the music falls flat. Tactical maneuvering is no walk in the park. It's all about turning tricky situations into golden opportunities and turning setbacks into stepping stones. Imagine this: you take a long, winding path to throw your enemy off the scent while you still make it to the finish line first. That's the art of deception. But beware, maneuvering can be a double-edged sword. It works wonders for an organized army, but for one that lacks discipline? It's a recipe for disaster. If you hustle your troops over a long distance for a quick win, you might just find yourself arriving fashionably late. And if you send a speedy unit ahead, you could end up with empty supply wagons. Pushing your soldiers to march day and night? Only the strongest will be left standing, and you might lose many good men along the way. Before you forge alliances, it's crucial to understand what your neighbors are up to and get a feel for the lay of the land, whether it's mountains, thick forests, or boggy swamps, so you can use the terrain to your advantage. In war, deception is your best friend. Move as swiftly as the wind, be as compact as a dense forest, strike like a raging fire, and hold your ground like a steadfast mountain. Keep your plans close to your chest and make your moves unexpectedly. When you capture resources, don't forget to share the spoils with your troops. They'll appreciate it and fight harder for you. Think before you leap. Mastering the art of maneuvering is your ticket to victory. The Book of Army Management tells us that clear communication on the battlefield is vital. Use drums and banners to keep your army focused and prevent chaos from taking over. In the dead of night, let the glow of fires and the beat of drums guide your soldiers. During daylight, your banners should wave proudly. An army can lose its spirit faster than a balloon losing air, and a commander can lose sight of the goal. Remember that soldiers hit their stride in the morning, but by evening, they're running on fumes. A wise general knows to avoid attacking when the enemy is fresh and ready. Instead, wait for them to wear down and lose their edge. Stay calm and poised while they flounder, and position your forces close to your objective while the enemy struggles in disarray. Stay well fed while they're hungry, and think twice before challenging an enemy with a tight formation or a swagger in their step. Here are some key military maxims to keep in mind. Don't go uphill against the enemy, don't face them while they charge down, don't chase after a feigning foe, and don't engage when they're itching for a fight. Always leave your surrounded enemies a way out, and don't press too hard on a desperate opponent. This, my friends, is the heart of warfare.